Welcome to the Flipping Junkie podcast, episode 171. Hey, welcome back to the Flipping Junkie podcast, talking about real estate investing, flipping houses, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I got a special episode. I think I say that every time that I have a special episode. But no, seriously, this one it's near and dear to me. I'm going to be talking about going from overwhelmed and stuck to organized and having fun. Now, this has been something I've been thinking a lot about, especially over this, last 4 or 5 months as I'm getting back into building up my own business. And so, this is going to be an exciting one because a lot of the stuff that I've been thinking about is going to be, talked about in this episode. And I've got a special announcement, which is really cool. I've got a special announcement that during this podcast episode, I'm going to let you guys know about this special announcement. I'm not going to tell you right away because I want you to stick around and listen for a little bit. But you really don't want to miss this, and I'll be sharing an announcement special for you later in the episode. So let's just get right into this. As real estate investors, I'm going to start out with this because I think it's important to know what we're trying to do here, right? All of us that are either trying to get into this business or have been in this business and are trying to find a way to make it really work to provide the lifestyle that we want. And, what is it that we want? Just the lifestyle or whatever. And it's to be able to do deals, make money, go full-time, have the lifestyle, have time freedom and financial freedom, right? Freedom to call the shots and be our own boss. I think that kind of sums up a lot of what I wanted when I got into this business. The ability to do what I wanted and when I want. To not miss a thing with my family. To not be stressed anymore, right? That was like a big part of this. To get that weight off of my chest and shoulders and to build wealth, long-term wealth. Because that will provide those other things, right? The stuff that we really want in life. I think a lot of us share those same wants. At least for me, that was a big, all those things are sort of the reasons why I got into this business. And I really think that stuff is possible to be able to do that with this industry, and probably more likely in this industry than in most others, really, because of the potential to make large amounts of money. I mean, that enticed me big time too. But behind all the money making, the real reason are those other things. But we tend to run into some problems that take root slowly, and problems that take root slowly we don't tend to recognize, so they go somewhat unnoticed as we keep our eye on the goal of freedom. And as we just push on and work harder and harder, it's supposed to be the recipe for success. If we just keep trying, if we just keep working at it, we'll eventually make it through, right? But there's a problem. There's a big problem that I've noticed throughout whenever I was getting started, going through growing the business and been through all the ups and downs and everything. And for many, the problem lies in how we're operating our businesses, how we're operating our own business, and it's disorganization. To put in concrete terms for newer investors, consider the problem being kind of focused around not being able to find deals consistently because the approach of getting deals isn't organized well. Okay, so you probably, hopefully that resonates with you a little bit because that's really what it boils down to. We're just kind of trying to do all this different stuff to generate these leads and to get these deals, but it's not very organized. I was not organized when I got started trying to find the first deals. So for experienced investors, though, I think the problem of disorganization rears its ugly head in poor follow-through and follow-up and having leads and deals slip through the cracks. And so disorganization here is, I think, the problem and at the core of a lot of the struggles that we have as we're doing all of this. And I really absolutely know what it's like because I've been there. When I got started, I wasn't organized at all. I was probably one of the most disorganized people. I just did random things each day to try to find a deal. I was just like, I need this deal. I'm going to do what it takes. Point me in a direction. I'll just run off in that direction and start doing it. And that's what I kind of did every day. It took me 9 months. I think it was around 9 months to get that first deal. Yeah, it took a long time. And I know that if you're struggling trying to find your first deal, you know what I'm talking about. That first one is just freaking tough. And so if you're having a hard time with it, realize that even in the beginning, I was starting to think that it wouldn't be possible for me to find good deals. Others were finding them. My dad was finding them. I couldn't. And I had all sorts of things going through my head about why that was. That things were just like they were lucky or they were in a different market or, all kinds of crap, right? And that's all that was. But then as I started finding deals, I became worried that I'd be able to consistently do it. So you get from one hurdle to the next, and you find that there's still some kind of worry, right? Some kind of problem. My marketing was all over the freaking place. I was constantly throwing mud at the wall to see what would stick. And most of the time, there would be no results for any of that marketing. And I still remember the feeling of doing some kind of campaign, like a direct mail campaign or something, spending thousands of dollars and not getting a single deal out of it. And that horrible feeling of just that felt like throwing money into a black pit that I'd never see again, right? It just seemed like such a huge waste because I didn't get a deal out of it. And it makes you a little bit shy about doing it again, right? Like, I don't want to add more money to that black hole to never be seen again. And so I've been there. I know what that's like. And, especially when that several $1,000s is a sizable percentage of your net worth, that's like super, super rough. And then as the business got growing, I was becoming frustrated by feast or famine nature of getting deals. And a lot of you guys I know understand what I mean by that. I do a ton of marketing, much of it, like I just said, being a waste of money and time, but would thankfully end up with a deal or two, and then I'd go start working on those houses, which would then keep me busy, too busy, and my marketing would stop. And once I sold those deals, I'd have a dry spell in getting new ones because I wasn't working on marketing while I was so busy trying to deal with these houses. And so I was wearing all the hats in the business. I'd have to put on my marketing hat to generate motivated seller leads. Then I'd have to put on my sales hat to turn those leads into deals. I have to go to those appointments, put them under contract. Then I'd have to put on my construction hat to work through the rehab and get the sucker sold, right? So I know what it feels like to be overwhelmed by all of that and to wonder what I've gotten myself into. So if you've been there, yeah, I mean, that can be one of those things. It's like, this is kind of a lot of work. That huge payday, though, kind of makes it all worthwhile, though, right? And I think that's why a lot of us are still in the business and willing to push through and work harder and harder to make a success, because we do have those big, moments of big check joy, right? Big check joy, I like that. But anyway, there were times when I felt so disorganized in my business. I even remember having nightmares. And typically, this happened several times. I'd have a nightmare. It'd be about like a house that I had bought and then forgot about. And it would be like being vandalized, and I would like realize that I didn't have insurance on it or something. And it was just like this like fear dream that would happen over and over again. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. And so if you've been there, know that you're not the only one having those kind of crazy fear dreams about all that kind of stuff, because it can become overwhelming, right? Like all this stuff going on. And it feels like a ton of moving pieces. And so when you're not organized, yeah, like funky dreams happen like that. So anyway, from there, as I was growing the business, started getting more leads and doing more deals and building a team so that I wouldn't have to wear all the hats. That helped relieve some of that stress, but it quickly showed where the real flaws in my business were. And basically what those flaws boiled down to was I wasn't really running my business like a true business. And that's really, really what it boiled down to. I hope you understand that this problem of disorganization is not limited to organizations or teams or experienced investors. This is something that we all need to understand. We're getting into a business, and that's what it is. Even if you're one person, you are starting a business. And had I known how important it was to have a way to run my business in a structured way early on, I could have achieved much more success, more freedom, the lifestyle I wanted, the income that I wanted, and everything much sooner in a less stressful way, which is, kind of looking back, it's like hindsight's always 20/20, right? And it's like, man, I wish I would have done it that way. But I can take that lesson and help everybody out there, anybody listening that this might resonate with, help you through it and help me also as I'm continuing on. Melissa and I had worked this business as a two-person team for well over 10 years. Yeah, man, a long time that we just did this, just us, before building the team. We made it through the crash of '08, and, that was when even my mentor was telling me there was no shame in getting a job again. But I remember thinking, like, how the hell could I do that? I am unemployable at this point. Like, I cannot see myself working for somebody else again. And we just kind of pushed through that. We then grew that flipping business up to a respectable level. Even one year, as crazy it is, attempting to do 100 deals in a year. That did not happen. I don't remember how many we did. I think we did 60 something. But we moved into doing a lot of wholesaling. We did a lot of rehabbing. We did some rentals. We did some owner financing. We did pretty much a bit of everything. So I get it. Like, I've been through the slow start, seemingly endless hunt for deals. I've checked on houses we had on the market only to be utterly disgusted with the poor workmanship that I missed because I wasn't checking on the rehabs, being overwhelmed with all the moving pieces of the business and all of that kind of stuff. I lost too many deals to competitors. This one probably, is true for a lot of people here. I've lost too many deals to competitors because I was just overwhelmed and disorganized. And that's like a gut check, right? Whenever you find out that you didn't get this deal because you didn't follow up in a timely way or spend the right amount of time preparing for the appointment and really talking with the seller and winning them over, and all that kind of stuff adds up, and it's super painful. And you end up having to work more, and you have to work harder because you're just not set up in a great way to have this stuff happen very well. Now, I remember, sorry, I gotta have coffee here. I got up at 4:30 this morning to work out boot camp. My gym finally opened back up, so I didn't have to work out on a Zoom call with people. So I was able to go back in the gym, super excited about it. But the only class they had available, because they're limiting it to 6 people, is at 5 in the morning. So I had to get up at 4:30 to go work out boot camp. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. But I'm kind of, I have to have my second coffee here and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, getting distracted there. So I do remember, where was I here? Okay, so, oh man, now I lost my train of thought completely. Jeez, let me have another drink of coffee, see if it comes back to me. Yeah, there it did. It came back. It came back to me. All right, the coffee helped. So what it was, and I didn't pause and edit this. This is pretty cool. Anyway, so what it was, in I think it was around 2010, back on the FlippingJunkie blog, I had started writing about all the leads and deals that I was getting for like a 34-week stretch. So if you've ever read my book, Flipping Houses Exposed, 34 Weeks in the Life of an Experienced Real Estate Investor, I documented the 495 leads that I got over that 34-week stretch and everything about them, like all the why they were selling, whether I went to see the house, how much I offered, all that kind of stuff. But what I'm getting to is that I think it was only maybe 11 or 13 of those became deals. So 495 of 495 leads, only like 11 of them became deals, which is a horrendous lead to deal ratio, right? And here I was, like, I was still a successful real estate investor, but you could see that just showed me right there what the difference is in being an organized business versus, someone just out there working hard, doing deals and only closing that many. Because, a typical, once you get things dialed in, it's really not uncommon to get, 1 out of 4 leads becoming a deal, depending on your marketing source and all that kind of stuff. So if that were the case, I would have done, well over 100 deals, right? Like it's pretty insane. So I think that illustrates really what I'm getting to here, this key point, okay? And really it's so important. It's what I've been thinking about a lot lately, because now I'm starting all over again from scratch. I'm starting my real estate investing all over again from scratch. I'm not going to go into all the details because I covered that recently in a podcast episode where I talked about my recent divorce, and that I'm beginning my real estate investing business all over again if you listen to that. If you didn't, go check it out, and it talks about kind of what I'm doing about getting back in and why I was out for a little while. So this is very exciting though, because I get to take all that I've been through and map out what I want it to look like, what it should look like with the benefits of all of that 2020 hindsight, right? So I'm excited about it. I'm super pumped to be doing this, to firing this stuff back up and getting in, knowing how to properly do this. And in doing that, I've discovered that I was most happy with an operation, a business that only does, like a handful, like a dozen or so houses a year. And I'm really part-time now in the house buying because of my continued running of my software company, Lead Propeller, Flip Pilot. And, this means I need to be very wise with how I spend my time. And I love the challenge because it forces me to be smart about how I use the time that I'm putting towards this and the money that I put towards this. And with that said, I know a lot of people that would also benefit from that, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're talking about how to benefit from this. So I set out to set up my machine again so that I can maximize the returns on my time and money. That was sort of, the point of the thinking through and setting this up. So it's critical for new investors and experienced investors, no matter what level you are, to think this way and to try to set things up to be a real business. And like I said, in 2010, what was that, already like 7 years into the business, I still 11 deals out of 495 leads. It's crazy, right? So even if you've been doing deals for a long time, I urge you to consider what I'm talking about. And, as I rebuild, as I'm building this again from scratch, I'm sure as hell not going to keep track of my leads in a notebook this time like I did then, okay? I'd get a lead, I'd write it in my notebook, and then if I couldn't get a hold of them, or if I needed to reach out to them again, I couldn't get a hold of them, I would just turn a couple pages and put follow up with whatever address or whatever. And then a couple days later, I'd be on that page and I would call them. It's a horrible, horrible system, right? And this is one of those reasons for the 11 deals out of 495 leads. This time, I'm also sure as hell not gonna be in the dark about what the return on investment is for every marketing campaign. I would know that I spent $2,000 and didn't get any deals, but whenever I got deals, I didn't really look at what the return on that investment was. I was looking at maybe how many leads were coming in for the amount of money I spent on the campaign, but I wasn't looking at how many deals, which is more important, and even more important than that, how much profit was being generated by those from that campaign. Because you could get a ton of leads, and even you could get a lot of deals from some marketing channel that you're spending a fortune for, and since you're doing a lot of deals, you might be thinking, well, I'm making a ton of money, but if you look at the end of the day what the return on investment was, you could have one where you're not doing as many, but you're making so much more. Maybe the profit is twice as much from this other channel, and the wise investor would see that and say, okay, I'm going to keep doing this other one, but I'm going to start moving more and more money over and make sure it scales and put more into this other one where I'm doing twice the profit because these deals are better or something like that. So I'm sure as hell not going to skip developing processes from the get-go to ensure I don't miss a crucial step in running my business. That's a big one too. E-Myth, stuff like that, had read early on, and I even maybe made some documents or something on the computer and was going to do that, but I never followed them. I never had them in a way where I could actually use them. And let me tell me if that's not something that's common amongst us, in entrepreneurs, where we just want to go. I started making those documents, didn't use them, right? They weren't real usable. I mean, if you can write out processes, but if they're not in front of you all the time, you got to be able to use them too. So that's a big part. I'm going to make sure, and I figured out how to do that, how to make sure that I'm using those processes, and not in an annoying, time-consuming way either. I'm going to show you guys that. So there's things also that I used to think were only for seasoned investors or bigger teams because I didn't have time for them. Now, that stuff like the processes, right? So now I'm much older and much wiser. I know that this is required for new investors and one man or one woman or two-person shows. It doesn't matter whether you attended your first seminar yesterday. I don't care. You will be much better prepared by beginning your business as a true business, right? As what I'm talking about here. And that's where this special announcement now that I mentioned earlier comes into play, okay? So this is really cool. On Wednesday, May 27th, so depending on when you listen to this, if you listen to it right after I put it out, that's about a week away. Wednesday, May 27th, 2020, at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. May 27th, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. That's a Wednesday. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm doing to set up my new real estate investing business. And basically showing you the 3 steps of building a well-oiled real estate investing machine. Okay, this is awesome. So Wednesday, May 27th, 10 o'clock a.m. Central. And even bigger news, drum roll please. I'm not a fancy editor of podcasts, so I mean, just imagine that you heard a drum roll in that. Here's even bigger news. On the same day, we're launching Flip Pilot 2.0. All right, this is freaking awesome. We've been working on this thing for a long time. I love it. And we've been in beta for over 6 months, making tons of updates, improvements, and just getting it ready, right, to put out. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, so that's something that I could drag on forever. And luckily, we decided, okay, no, it's great, man. It's been great for a long time. It's time to put it out there. So it's finally now going to be available to you, all right, to everybody, and I'm super excited about it. I'm going to show you guys the steps to creating your REI machine, and at the same time show you how Flip Pilot makes it so much easier, okay? So it's kind of a joint thing of showing you what I'm doing to set up my business, but then also showing you the demo of Flip Pilot and how to do that. So I'm not just going to be showing you Flip Pilot, oh, you can do this and you can click and do this. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be more of how I actually use this thing to map out what I need to make my business be a real business. So that's awesome. Yeah. So very, very cool. If you're thinking though, well, I'm new to this business, I can't really afford to pay for a software system yet. I get that, right? I've been there. I know what it's like to do that, to be in that spot where you're thinking, I got to be careful about how I spend all my money, because sometimes it is like the marketing and throwing it in a black hole. But I've got even better news for you too. So if you're in that situation where you're like, you can't really get software yet, I'm going to actually show you guys on this call how to get Flip Pilot for free, okay? Seriously, no credit card, no payment, nothing, okay? You'll be able to get it for free. So this is super, super awesome, all right? As part of, we got to thinking about that with all the stuff that's going on right now, coronavirus and all that kind of stuff, and just to help out investors really to get organized and be able to make a difference, make this a time where with the uncertainty and all that kind of stuff, you can actually finally grow this flipping business for yourself and get out there and do that. So creating a way for you to do it free, and I'm going to show you on the call. So you have to join me on the call. You really don't want to miss it. Just head over right now. Just go over there right now to register for that Zoom call. You can go to flippilot.com. There's 2 P's in that in the middle. flippilot.com/demo. DEMO. flippilot.com/demo. And I play I don't know, the soundtrack. I'm not going to, like I said, I can't edit sounds in here. I hear it in my head, but it's not going to be the Jeopardy thing, right? When they're at the end, they're doing anyway, just imagine that playing. Head over there, register for it, and be ready, because during the call, what I'm going to be showing you guys, what you're going to learn, is how to organize your business so you know exactly what's going on and no leads slip through the cracks. This is super important, right? Part of the whole lead to deal ratio conversion thing that I talked about was horrible because this wasn't done then. How to go from frazzled and fried every day, man, I know that so well. And if you do, I urge you just to be on this call, being frazzled and fried every day, to being excited and enjoying your business and what you get to do every day is how I'm going to show you how to do that on the call. How to easily set up a workflow and processes to systematize your business, even if it's just you, okay? This is super powerful. And like I said before, in a way where you're actually going to use it, right? That's the key. You can do a lot of this stuff, but if you make these process documents and stuff them away somewhere and never look at them, you're not really benefit from it. So I'm going to show you how to benefit from that, right? And of course, how to get Flip Pilot 2.0 for free. You're going to pay for your whole seat, but you only need the edge. No, you're not going to pay for anything. I'm just kidding. Again, it's the sleep deprivation thing, okay? So maybe it's a bad time for me to record this. But anyway, join me on the call. I'd love to have you guys join me for this call. Go ahead and register right now, flippilot.com/demo. flippilot.com/demo. And I'm not sure how many people Zoom allows on a call. I used to use Webinar Jam for this stuff, but Zoom is what I've just been using a lot lately. So go ahead and register now, though, and put a reminder in your calendar. And one way or another, I'm going to make sure that you're going to get access to what I'm going over on that call, okay? So it's important that you do that. I truly believe that what I'm going to show you guys on this call can help you grow your business into an organized machine that helps you generate more deals, more profit, and truly have that lifestyle you set out to create when you got into this business. And that's the key to all of this, right? That's what we're trying to do here. So join me on the call, or, obviously it's your choice, right? So you can skip it and learn all of this the hard way. It's really your choice. I'm not going to force anybody to be on this call, but sometimes we need to learn things the hard way. So no judgment here if you choose not to, but if you'd like to, please join me. May 27th, Wednesday, 10 o'clock Central. Go to flippod.com/demo, and we'll be talking about going from overwhelmed and stuck to organized and having fun in our real estate investing business. Thanks a lot, everybody, for listening to this podcast and joining me every week to put these out. And I'm really excited to be sharing the stuff that I've been considering and going over on how to structure I want my business to be like as I'm getting started again in this, and hope that you guys join me in that journey, and hopefully you can get some stuff from it to help you as well to improve your business, whether you're just getting started or have been in it for a while. Truly appreciate you guys, and hope you're having a great time and staying safe and healthy and all that kind of stuff during all this. So anyway, you can go to flippod.com/demo, and we'll see you on that call next week. Totally looking forward to it. Hope to see you there. Have a good week.